my baby in a John Barry songbook, scooting all night under the neon lights. If I could go back, give me back to the 90s and an old honky tonk.
Now, look, I love the song so much, I was going to play the promo twice. Hey, guys, back at you again today. And we've been so blessed this week, last week and this week, to have some great artists on here. And Joe and Martina are with us today. Let me bring them in here.
Woo!
Hey, guys. Now, you all, I was just getting ready to say, you all are two of my favorite people. And like, I think almost every time when I hashtag something with Joe and Martina, it's my favorite couple or relationship goals or whatever. And yet, well, when we first met, because you all were my first on-camera interview.
What? Really?
And yes, at CRS. Oh, when Grassroots had their at the it was in the bigger room, like on the bottom floor of the
Wasn't it like in the hallway?
It was in like the foyer area of Nissan, or not Nissan, Bridgestone.
Bridgestone.
Yes, at the Bridgestone. And because you all and Rick Trevino and Shano, and so, but you all were my first interview, and I was with Center Stage Magazine, sending love out to them. And you all were so great because you made me so comfortable, but you were Terra Bella then.
Right.
And now I'm like, I don't know. They're always going to be Terra Bella. So, okay, tell us about the change. Why the change?
Yeah, I mean, it's, to me, first of all, it's just like, I feel like it's too many things to remember. Like, you know, it's like, we're Joe and Martina and we're called Terra Bella. So that first off, it's just like too much to remember. And we didn't like that. But Martina and I didn't 100% pick the name Terra Bella. We had a managers at the time
when we first moved to town.
That kind of led us to pick that name, and we just felt like it didn't represent us quite right. And we always wanted to be called Joe and Martina. That's what we moved to town, kind of being called, and we just thought it was finally time to go back to it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care what we call you. Like, no, there are not any bad things I would call you. I do. I genuinely love you all. And I think one thing in that first interview, one thing that will always stick out to me is Martina talking about how she stalked you until she got you.
Right.
I mean,
she stalked me on MySpace.
Oh, Lord.
Way to go, girl. Sometimes we have to do what we have to do.
That's right. You know what? You know, we always tell everyone, don't ever give up on your dreams. And if you have found the one, you know, and they don't see it yet, or they don't know it yet.
Well, and
you
I
don't
said,
have to like go super crazy because there's laws about that.
Right?
Know, but
Yes. Always obey the laws. But
I know.
But I bring that up because every time I see some new photos of you all together, like for promos or whatever, especially like the I've been around the whole photo shoot or surrounding that.
Yeah.
I kept thinking there is no way she had to stalk this guy for him to look at her like that. Like every girl wants a guy to look at her like that.
Oh.
We try. You know, I don't think she didn't have to stalk me at all. It's like, you know how like you just don't know how to trust, especially at that time. I didn't know to trust social media. So when she was talking to me, I didn't necessarily believe that she was who she was. I was assuming
so you were ahead of the catfish curve.
Right.
I was just gonna say catfish.
Right, and it wasn't until a buddy of mine said that he knew her personally that it all kind of we met in person, and then of course when I meet her in person, I'm terrified because she's beautiful and I look like this, you know, and it's like, you know, but so once we actually met in person, she didn't have to try very hard at all.
Okay, well, now that we have gone down memory lane and gotten gushy and mushy, which I love that you all do that because it's so cool to watch you all, because I think, you know, working together
Yeah.
it can be hard, even if you were just bandmates, but working together, living together, doing everything together, especially in the quarantine. I mean, you have to have a special kind of bond and friendship and soulship and everything for that to work. And it's so cool to watch you all have that. So I love it. And I hope that that better never stop, or I'll stalk you both.
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
If we've made it through this COVID-19 quarantine,
Right.
I mean,
yeah, no kidding.
we can make it through anything. We're doing great.
Yeah.
We're surviving and thriving and
yeah,
doing
that's
well.
what we've been saying.
Okay, so segue. We kind of touched on this when we first came on the camera, and I think everybody that follows you all and knows you all has followed Martina's journey through self-improvement.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to focus on how much you've lost, that because to me that you are the same person that you were,
Right.
I mean, that didn't change. Self-improvement is it seems to be what you have focused on promoting through this whole thing. And you just happen to have lost a lot of weight and look gorgeous. Like there's something has changed in you, not just in dropping any weight, because like I said, you were beautiful before, but something has changed in you and your confidence and everything. So talk about your
First of all, thank you for saying all that.
So sweet. Oh my God.
It's true.
Because she needs to hear that, because I see it and I know that other people see
And
it.
I
But
was my husband. He's supposed to say that.
But sometimes people don't know how to go about saying that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you first of all for doing that.
Thanks.
Because
really?
I think she needs to hear stuff like that.
I'll just, know what? I'll just text her every week if I need to do that, because
so
I mean, it is true. It's, and I think anybody that were to go back, because you did share a before and after photo.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously there are physical changes which lead to a lot of health improvements in doing that and taking better care of yourself. But I think if anybody goes back and just looks at the difference between, like, nothing changes in the way Joe looks at you, which is so awesome to me.
Right.
But the way that you look at you, or the selfies that you take, the confidence that's there is amazing. So tell us how have you kept that up? Because I think I've probably gained a whole person during this COVID.
So for the last 3 years, I do work with a trainer. He's my coach, and he's here in our hometown of Hendersonville, Tennessee. And what's really cool is I do get to take him everywhere with me, in the sense of social media and technology. So anytime I need him, he's there. But really, like you said, it's more than just losing the weight or inches and numbers, which was the first step I had to realize. I know that you've always heard the saying of, you have to love yourself before you love others. And in our industry, that's what we promote is kindness and loving life and loving this artwork that we as country music singers get to share. And I was losing that spark, and I didn't realize that it really started inside. And being an ex-athlete, I was like, okay, I'm being hard on myself, or I can't eat the same way. And I looked at all the negatives, and it was just like, I was done with that. It took more energy to be negative than to turn it into a positive, and understand that it takes time. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody has different, health conditions and lifestyles. And I still eat pizza. I just eat it twice a month instead of every day. Or Taco Bell when it's the only thing that's open. And I have to eat something. There are there's so many options out there. And if you just, I don't know, you've got to do it for yourself. And that's, like you said, you really have to start with inside.
And I think the one thing I want to say is, like, she's not doing anything dramatic either. Like, she's not doing there's no fad diet kind of thing going on. There's nothing like that. It's just making like smarter choices. She's not going no carb or nothing weird.
Yeah, I'm not on and anybody that does that, good for you. I hope that you're, seeking the right help and not just following something you found on Pinterest. But yeah, I mean, and I found out because of emotional and sensitive girl I am, you know, that I can't do pre-workouts and I can't take, you know, energy drinks because it was messing up my vocal cords with acid reflux, and I can't do the fatty foods at night. And I, you know, so there were other things that I wanted to be the best version of myself. And it was going to take more than just getting on stage and singing my best.
Right.
So that's where it was. But yeah, and it's hard. And that's
other
what
people,
makes it. That's
that's
how you know you're doing good, is when it's really
yes.
hard.
Like across here, somebody else sees the confidence and how beautiful you are, and so
that's my best friend back
home.
Oh,
well, see, there you go.
And that guy right there, he won a Super Bowl. So to hear that from him, is like,
there you go.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. But it is. You really have to. It is a mental game. A lot of it's a mental game, and I didn't realize that either. And you just, I always tell everybody this, and Joe and I say it to each other. Sometimes you just got to open your big, beautiful eyes and look the hell around to see that where you are.
Okay, that's a song.
Is a great place.
Right. I want you all to write that song.
There we go. Yeah. So.
Like I'm tearing up over that.
Yeah, because there is good.
Well, and there are so many. Like I could scroll through Facebook, and because I've clicked on, oh, what's this fad diet? Now you get so many, and they make it look so easy. Take this pill or take this vitamin, and it's like, that's not always okay for everybody. So I've got it. The quarantine did not help me in this area at all. So.
Right. I don't think. I mean, if it wasn't for my coach, and honestly, in having him on those virtual workouts, I would be in the same boat. And even my eating habits. I was just talking to a couple of my girlfriends. They were saying the same thing this morning. I definitely have hit a plateau myself. Even now in the game where I'm at, I still hit walls, and I still, fall off the food wagon or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I've had a couple of too many Sonic milkshakes, but they're the little guys. They're the minis, not the larges anymore. So it's just little things.
So do we want?
I love to work out.
do we want to give him a plug? So I mean, everybody can look at what the masterpiece he has been helping create here.
No, that's great. His name is Coach Jason Santiago, and his gym. He runs a veteran-owned and operated gym. Yes, God bless our troops, our vets. He was an Army vet here at Fort Campbell.
Okay.
Flew helicopters, and so helicopter pilot. Love him to death. But his gym is Fit Rev Training. So you can find it on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, all the good stuff.
We'll make sure we get that linked up too, because and especially it's Memorial Day week. So make sure we promote the vets as much as possible. Absolutely. So let's talk about some music. I mean, that is what you all do.
Is it?
So I hear. Let's talk. I tell you what, I'm going to ask you before we get into the newest single. I'm going to ask you to do one of my favorites, and this will forever be my favorite. And you all know that. But Hey Mama, and tell us a little bit about the song, and then share it with us.
Well, this was like one of the first songs I wrote when we moved to Nashville. If you want I'll give you the full story.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I was really cool on that last topic. Now I'm going to become really not cool.
It's all good because of your not coolness. We got a really great song out of it.
I'm going to come back because of her not coolness.
Oh yeah, no, this is
it was our we moved to Nashville in August of 2012.
Yeah.
All right, so this was this was January 6th of 2013. I know the exact day because it was our wedding anniversary. And we were really broke. We just moved to town, and we had a bunch of roommates, and I had made dinner reservations and got a hotel room away from our roommates and stuff because we were around them all the time. And for whatever reason, Martina generally at one time would have thought that was really sweet.
Oh yeah, of course.
But in that moment, she was kind of upset with me that I spent money when we had just moved to town and we were trying to save money.
Business. I'm
telling you, us guys, we can never win, right?
Right. I know.
Her probably thinking of this right now. She's like, "Oh my God, you were really sweet," but in that moment, it's like. Anyways,
it was before I loved myself. Remember that?
It was. So,
here we go. Good one, girl.
So she's like, I don't want to talk to you right now. You're irresponsible. You know, like, I don't know, stuff like that. And
I'm just gonna leave.
no, it's
Get back on there.
It's funny because
I'm just getting my Kleenex for the
Oh,
summer.
okay.
So,
Yeah. Me too.
yeah. So I had we had a spare bedroom in the house that was like a little writing room / kind of studio that me and our roommate kind of shared. And I went in there and closed the door, and I was just picking on guitar. And I was on a big Lyle Lovett kick. I don't know if you guys listen to Lyle Lovett much, but he has a song called "If I Had a Boat."
Uh-huh.
If I had a boat, I'd go out on the ocean. Anyways, I was picking on that, and I kind of messed it up, and I came up with this other guitar riff, and I just started singing like, "Hey mama, on you from Nashville, Tennessee, yeah, because my wife is really mad at me," you know, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? I was just like tinkering around. And
Oh my gosh.
And after like jokingly singing a couple rounds, I was like, this is a really good melody, and this is a cool concept, like calling back home, you know. And I was kind of, you know, aside from that, like we were broke, and we were kind of like, what the hell did we do? Like, should we have moved all the way out here? Like, this is crazy, you know?
Yeah. It was crazy. Still is crazy.
I just spent like about an hour or so, and I got my first version of it done, and I had sent it to my friend Rob Williford, who's now a big hit songwriter and doing all kinds of cool stuff. But I sent it to him, and he wrote me back almost immediately and was like, "Dude, yes, let's get together this week and finish this thing." And we got together and finished it, and we showed it to his publisher that he was working for at the time, and he shredded it. Was like, "Oh, there's this problem and this problem and this and that." And we rewrote it. I think we rewrote it twice.
Yeah.
And I think the final version ended up being pretty close to my original version. I think we overwrote it and then we dialed it back. And anyways, it ended up being like the song that introduced us to our producer that we've worked with a lot, Johnny Garcia.
Yeah.
I remember the first time that Luke Combs ever walked up to me. He goes, "Hey man, are you the couple that sing that song, Hey Mama?"
Yeah.
I'd like to write with you sometime. You know what I mean? And so it's
that happened.
It happened, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I ended up being in his band for a year and a half or so, and
So the song ended up so that anniversary gift ended up being the song,
right.
the career. I mean, everything.
You're welcome.
I think here's the deal, and this is what I've come to understand about this one.
Oh Lord.
Is that this is the truth. I think every time she gets mad at me, or anytime, and sometimes it can even be a good thing, like it shifts our life in a way. Like, okay, think about this. And I don't mean to be like super philosophical, but let's think about this for a second.
Okay.
If Martina hadn't gotten mad at me that day, I never would have gone into that room and sat and listened to Lyle Lovett for a while. That got me to come up with this melody and this song idea.
Yeah.
Like that one little thing. So like, I'm grateful she got mad at me that day because it completely changed our life. Maybe I would have never met Luke Combs. Maybe I would never have had a platinum record hanging on my wall. Maybe we would have never met Johnny Garcia. All these different things wouldn't have happened if I hadn't written that song.
Wow.
That's
all because she got mad at me. I'm telling you, like,
I got goosey, and you haven't even started the song yet.
No, she's like the wife of destiny. She makes stuff happen.
Oh,
you know,
there's a song
cool.
title again.
By the way, we're coming out with a full length album in a few months.
Okay.
And Hey Mama, we didn't re-record it, but we remixed it, remastered it. And it's going to be on the very first Joe and Martina album.
Physical copies.
It's going to be awesome. So.
Oh, I can't wait. All right, so I'm gonna let you all take it away now.
Awesome.
Sorry for talking so much, folks. But that's why we do these things, right?
That's right.
Hey, Mama, calling you from Nashville, Tennessee. It's cold, full of broken dreams. There's no place I'd rather be. Hey mama, I've made a few friends in these old streets. They write songs, play guitar, just like me. Just like me, they're trying to be the next big thing. Hey mama, just thought I'd call and check on you, Dad. Hey mama, how are things back home? Miss you bad.
I miss you bad. Hey mama, people seem to like me at the bar. Say it won't be long till I'm a star. Ain't giving up, I've come this far. Well, hey mama, this kind of life sure takes a toll. There's a lot going on I can't control, and only so much fight in my soul. Well, hey mama, just thought I'd call and check on you and Dad. Well, hey mom, well, how are things back home? I miss you bad. I miss you bad.
Hey mama, I'm out here all alone and afraid,
But I'm proud of the choices I've made. You believed in me from the day.
and I said, mama, I think I'm gonna chase this crazy dream.
Well, hey mama, gotta go now and see where this road leads. I've got a song to sing. Hey mama,
Hey mama, I'm calling you from Nashville, Tennessee.
see.
I see that quivering lip.
I
I'm
know,
sorry, it
I'm
made me giggle. I'm sorry.
What?
I messed up the ending because I saw it. Her lip go like.
Oh, and I'm sitting over here like checking makeup and drying. I love it though. It's
Thank you.
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think it touches a string because everybody at some point in their life, whether it's Nashville or whatever, has wanted to write that letter back home to mama, wherever they are for whatever reason.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I do want, let's talk about what you all have been up to, trying to time travel back to the 90s.
Oh yeah.
You have a new
Yeah,
single. It's "Give Me Back the 90s." Tell us about how that song came about. And
Well, I mean, first of all, Martina and I are huge 90s country fans. I mean, Martina's wearing a George Strait jacket right now.
I mean, yeah.
And if this shirt, I mean, I'm pretty sure the shirt was from the 90s. I'm not positive.
I think so.
So we have a big love for it. You know, we're big George Strait, Garth Brooks, Chris Ledoux, you know. And
Winona,
Winona,
Trisha,
Trisha,
Reba. Let's get the
sorry.
women in there.
Right.
It's true. I mean, I'm cute.
Yeah.
Tanya Tucker. We're just
Oh
listening
my
to-
gosh, yes.
Anyways,
That new record. Woo!
so I went into a writing session. It was with a guy named Johnny Garcia who plays guitar for Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks, and my buddy Dustin Huff. And Johnny threw out the idea about writing a song about 90s country music. And of course, I'm like, yes, sir. Like, I love that. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And he's the perfect guy to write it with. I mean, he lived it. I mean, he
Right.
was. And we just started throwing around ideas and came up with the fact that we wanted it to be about more than just 90s country music, but we wanted it to be a song about getting back to a simpler way of life. Because you know, the life we live now is pretty complicated, and we're glued to our phones, and we rely on Amazon Prime to bring us anything we need. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. I've embraced technology. I love technology. That's how we're able to do this right now. And I appreciate that. I love that. But there's still a part of me that wishes that I could go back for a couple weeks or a month or a year to the way it was when I was a kid back in the 90s. And so that was the sentiment. And we had a cool melody that we were working with that sounded 90s but sounded relevant, and we just rolled with it. It didn't take long to write the song. I think it was a 2-hour kind of session, and when we walked out of it, the work tape sounds pretty much exactly the way it ended up. So that's absolutely, that's pretty cool.
Now, I mean, you have a featured.
That's how we wrote it.
Okay, you have a featured guest on there, and we talked with John Barry at Country Radio Seminar in February, and he talked a lot about this song, and he said that, you know, he was honored to be able to be asked to sing on it, and then he talks about that on the way to record his part, that he was listening to it and he heard his name in it, and he was like, oh, that's really cool. And so I was thinking, how awesome John Barry. I mean, you know, you talk about 80s and 90s. I know that, and I'm so then have this whole proud moment for my two friends, Joe and Martina, that John Barry's doing his interview about how much he was honored and couldn't believe his name was in a song. And so how was that for you all, that you make the call and he's like,
I mean, it was definitely one of those, like, what is life? Because I know I've said this on our socials before, but like, I had a poster of John on my wall before I had one of Garth. And, you know, back when the cassettes, you know, that you take out the sleeve and it would open up into like a little poster or whatever, like I had that. And I don't know. And then it was crazy because we had befriended John through his son, Kalen, who plays drums. He's an incredible drummer, by the way.
Yes, he is.
And plays drums for his dad. And we met Kalen and his wife, Kayla, at a mutual friend's birthday party. And so when we had this idea, Joe brought this song, and I'm like, God, you know, both of us, wouldn't it be cool if we got a 90s artist on it? But, you know, two farm kids from California with no real team to make that push or that call, like, what do we do? And both of us looked at each other like, man, it'd be so cool if John Barry got on it, because such an iconic 90s vocal, like that voice. Oh, I just love him so much. So we went to Kalen to be like, do you have any tips? Like, should we call his manager? Do we call? He's like, well, I'm gonna see him later today, like in 25 minutes. I can just ask him. And I'm like, okay. And so he calls me and he's like, hey, Martina. He calls me back. He's like, so Dad said he'd like to. He'd be honored. He would love to sing on your song. Send it over to him. And I'm like, okay, cool. We've got it kind of a push. And all I hear is like, hey, Dad, what are you doing next week? And I'm like, oh, my God, he's in the room. You know, and just kind of in the moment, I'm really good. And I think Joe can attest for this. But like, when it comes to phone calls and business, I can turn it on. Like, thanks to like FFA and communication skills that we learned in high school and through college, like I can really turn it on. But like that whole moment is a little bit messy of a timeline, because it was just after I was done, I was like, what just happened? John Barry is coming over to our house to record on our song. What the heck? It's what Nashville dreams are made of. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Well, and I totally get that, because just like last week we interviewed Andy Griggs, and I was like, what are you cool. No. I was like, I'm fangirling quite a bit. But you know, then I could get into the interview and we talked and blah blah, and it worked out okay. But then Deborah Allen called me on my cell phone like 2 days ago, and I was like, hello. Oh, hi, Deborah. I get off the phone and I'm like, hey, Deborah Allen just called my phone. And I know. But yeah, I mean, I get it. When these artists that I have loved for so long, even like a post that we put up. I'm like, what? That's
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
what alternate universe am I living in?
When Winona retweeted me, I lost my
Right.
Well, I would say like a few months before John like agreed to sing on Give Me Back the 90s and stuff, we became friends on like Instagram.
Yeah.
And just like seeing his name pop up, like John Berry likes your post. It was like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and then like,
and Jeff
and then fast forward
Carson.
to today, and it's just like,
Now we have each other's
Yeah.
phone numbers.
Right.
You know,
And like
always
Jeff
checking
Carson.
in on us.
We talked with Jeff Carson. He couldn't believe he had 140,000 views on the virtual concert that he did. And I'm like, but where have you been? Country music misses you. And
right.
he just didn't. But yeah, we're like Facebook friends. And that's cool. So
It is cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Speaking of the song, I'm not gonna make you all play that one because I think for anybody that hasn't heard it, which is probably not many, but I would love for everybody to. This video looks so fun, and watching on social media as you all were doing it, it looked amazing.
It was. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm not one that gets lost for words, but like, I don't. Jeez, I don't know. It was.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna pull it up here, and I think we're gonna let it kind of speak for itself a little bit.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now I just have to get it to play. There we go.
Huh?
Down Main in a square body step-side Chevy. Buck 44 gas, 6-pack, paper sack, but heavy. Kids played outside till the sun went down. If you ran out of something, had to head into town. Looking back now, kind of crazy how the whole world's changed. Just ain't the same. Give me back the 90s in an old honky tonk with my baby. Slow George Strait song. Boots scooting all night under the neon lights. If I could go back, that's where you'd find.
Oh, there we go.
So give me back the 90s. Give me back the 90s. Got a girl's number, had to hop on the house phone to call. Pick her up, get the door, take our time to some old dance hall.
It's a weird one.
She tape deck playing nothing but the good stuff. Greatest hits box set, soundtrack of first stuff. Looking back now, kind of crazy how the whole world's changed. Just ain't the same. So give me back the 90s in an old honky tonk with my baby. Earwood song, boots scooting all night under the neon lights. If I could go back, that's where you find me. So give me back the 90s. Give me back the 90s. Give me back the 90s. No honky tonk with my baby. John Berry's song, boots scooting all night under the neon lights. If I could go back, give me back the 90s in an old honky tonk with my baby. In a wide open song, boots scooting all night under the neon lights. If I could go back, that's where you find me. Give me back the 90s. Give me back the 90s.
And so cool. So very, very cool. Like, I love that. I love the song in general, but then the video brings all of it together, and it's still real. I don't care how many times I see it, and it has to be for you all. But when John Barry comes in on that last one, it's like, oh, that's amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I've kept you all on here for quite 35 minutes. All right, so I'll just do. I'm gonna test you on one.
Yeah.
On a song, and then just do one chorus of it for me.
All right.
Okay. So if you had to pick a deep cut challenge song, what would your deep cut be?
I forget. Deep cut challenge. Is that original or cover?
That's a song from somebody else, another artist, a deep cut on their album, or an uncut. It could be an uncut, but it would have to be a deep cut. That's maybe a hidden track or a track that never made a single.
That wasn't a big
right.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I know. We've been oh,
I don't know.
you gotta have one. Come on. I feel like we've been doing this like all quarantine, but now that we're on the spot, we're like, ugh.
That's okay. That's all right. See, I'm just doing the challenge a different way. Instead of throwing it out in a post, I'm curious what it would be.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say we've been listening to a lot of B-side Garth songs, so
and you there is always been. Lord, this one beats all. When they ain't quit for weeks now, and the drifts are 10 feet tall. Been all night driving heifers, those are in the lower ground. And I spend the morning thinking about the walls the wolves pulled down. Charlie Barton and his family stopped today to say goodbye. Said the bank was taking over, the last few years just too dry. I promised that I'd visit when they found a place in town. Then I spent a long time thinking about the ones the wolves pulled down. I don't know if I know the chorus. So Lord, please shine a light of hope on those of us who fall behind. And when we stumble in the snow, can you help us up while there's still time?
oh, ain't that the truth? Woo.
I don't mean to be complaining, Lord. You've always seen me through. And I know you got your reasons for each and everything you do. But tonight outside my window, there's a lonesome, mournful sound. just can't help but think of the ones the wolves pulled down. Oh Lord, keep me from being the one the wolves pulled down. Something like that.
Oh my gosh.
He's never played that for anybody. You're hearing it first.
Oh.
I've never even heard him sing it all the way through like that.
I messed up the chords. I didn't know that I knew the lyrics, first of all, and I didn't think I knew the chords, but I just went with it, and it kind of.
I always know when he's like throwing a Hail Mary because he'll just sing to me the whole time, and it looks real cute probably to you guys, but I can read him for knowing him the last 11 years, and he's just like, oh my God, I really don't know this, but I'm gonna do it.
But how cool is that you are his you are his go-to, and he knows that he can trust that he can just look at you and you get it. I'm because because honestly, I mean, the way you were looking at him, I was thinking, I think we all need to end the broadcast and visit them later. Thank you for doing that. It was amazing. I love you all so much. I'm sending you hugs and kisses. I wish you nothing but success as always, and we will catch up very soon.
Sounds good.
Yes,
okay. And if you all have not done so, and none of this convinced you to, there's no help for you. But go. We've been scrolling across the bottom. Their website, joeandmartina.com. Make sure you go and check it out. Visit on social media, like, follow, subscribe, do all those things, and get out to see a show as soon as they can get back out there and do it. So you all take care, and we will see you very soon.
Okay,
bye.
Thank you.
Take care.